this up, but we can't sum it up because Revit, I need to tell you something. Sometimes when it does separate operations on elements, it'll put them, make them single list items within lists. So it's like Roman numeral 1, A, Roman numeral 2, A, Roman numeral 3, A, Roman numeral 4, A. That doesn't make any sense, right? So what you do is you use a flatten node and you squish it down to Roman numeral 1, Roman numeral 2, Roman numeral 3, Roman numeral 4, Roman numeral 5, right? It takes all those little A's and pushes them up one level. So we have to flatten this so that we don't have those little lists within lists. So it's called a flatten node. You can just type flatten. Flatten, you will be flattening experts throughout your Dynamo career because lists don't always behave. Flatten. Okay? Flatten. There we go. Pull that down. See, now we got a pretty list, right? And those should have about the same surface areas, but they're not all the same length, but they're just about. Okay, we can have an academic discussion on the precision of these numbers. We won't do it today, especially if these are for paint calculations or fireproofing calculations. Might be okay if you're off by 1 to the, 10 to the minus 5. So, okay, one more. We got to sum that up. Now you can take that, send it out to Excel. There are Excel examples how to send out in the additional data sets. We won't go over that today. You can send that out and use Excel to sum it up, but there is a sum node in Dynamo. If you'd like to use it, and I encourage everyone to use it, just type in sum here, sum, and that'll get you, it's this one here, sum, math sum. And you fire that up, boom, and then you pull it down, and you should get a number about right here, about 3,200, and I'm going to say 50, okay? But, got it? Okay, next question. What does that number mean? Is that square meters? Is that square inches? Now, it has to be squared, right? We're all design professionals here, right? We're all design professionals, so the units are distance squared, okay? So is it meters squared? Is it feet squared? Is it inches squared? Millimeters squared? It's a good question, right? And you should ask yourself this. You have to do sanity checks on what you get. That number, first of all, those beams look about right with the cross-sectional area of these being so long. That looks like about the right number. This is in square feet. The way you know is because when you open Revit and the project and you fire Dynamo up, it's not forever, you can argue, but it's attached to that project. It pulls that project units, and anytime you tap the Revit database, it uses those set project units, okay? So if you had a metric template and those beams were metric and you did this, then those would be on the metric that you set the units. But this is set in feet squared, the units of the project, and so that's feet squared. Do you understand? Okay. Cool. Are there any questions about this before we move on? Yes?
Just one, if you're using Studio, how do you...
Okay, the question was, if you're using Dynamo Studio, we're using Dynamo for Revit right now. Dynamo Studio, I don't want to get into that conversation. We'll talk later. Dynamo Studio is a standalone program that doesn't attach to Revit. And so we'll have that conversation later. So that's a bit off topic. I don't want to get into it right now. Any other questions? See how easy that is? Dynamo already saved you a lot. I was ready to, okay, what is it?
I was just wondering, could you, under the geometry, could you go to the surface instead of...
Okay, question was, could you go to the surfaces? All right, that's a very good question, and you need to ask yourself this every time. First of all, when we did, it's a long way over there. We did element solids. These are solids, right? We pulled solids. We pulled solids from Revit and converted them to solids. And we pulled the beam, we converted it to solids in Dynamo, okay? That's what we did, but you don't have to do that. You can say, give me all the faces of those beams, and I want the faces converted into Dynamo language.